Where do I begin? Well, hello into people, how you guys doing? I hope you're doing okay. In today's video, I wanted to talk about why I'm worried about the autism community. Now, this video is kind of in response to Katie's video where she talked about her own worries about the autism community, and I want to take this moment to say her courage was frankly amazing. Her honesty is something that I really respect. And frankly, her opening up the floor to a conversation, it's made a lot of other people talk. So because of Katie's video and I just feel ready to talk about this stuff, and you know, she's just given us the courage to talk about it. Today I'm going to be talking about my own worries in regards to the autism community. This will be my own opinion. I'm going to be honest, and if you agree with me, that's great. If you don't agree with me, that's also fine. You know, I'm a person I feel invites open conversations with people. You know, I love hearing what you guys think and other people, what they think about the content and videos that I make. You know, whether they agree with me or disagree with me. You know, there's that open relationship that I feel you guys feel from me. You know, I want to have those conversations, even if they're uncomfortable sometimes. But anyway, that leads on to my first point, actually. People in the autism community shutting down conversations. Like, the world of autism, the autism community, it's a vast thing. And, you know, I don't know everything about autism. Katie doesn't know everything about autism. Heck, I mean, not a lot of people know everything about autism because it's one of those conditions that has so many misconceptions. And it's one of those conditions that is still a great mystery. And there are a lot of aspects of it that some people experience and some others don't. And there's people who don't have the condition at all who want to know about autism and they want to know more about our community to better understand, I don't know, maybe someone in their life, maybe to further understand the world around them, or maybe they are going through the diagnostic process themselves and they just want to feel valid. However, there have been occasions, multiple occasions, that I've seen online that do make me upset, and it's when people in our community shut down conversations from people who don't know any better, or they're curious and they say like an outdated term or an offensive term that they don't necessarily know is offensive, because if you don't know something, you're going to ask questions and it might not necessarily be in the way that is acceptable and stuff like that. When someone is curious, it's a good thing because it's an opportunity to gain knowledge and for other people to talk to them about their experiences and have a positive dialogue for that person who is curious to take something away from it and to tell their family or their friends or, you know, whatever it may be they are curious about. It's an opportunity to educate and to give them a positive experience and a positive outlook from a community that sometimes is misunderstood and people don't fully understand. And talking about a condition that is so vast and so misunderstood, it's incredibly frustrating to me when autistic people shut people down who are curious, because it's an opportunity missed. The person who is curious, they're going to have a negative view on our community, and that's going to further segregate our community, the autism community, from, you know, like every other person. And that to me is so backwards. That to me is so wrong, and that to me is something that we should not be doing. You know, we should be in a position as a community where people can ask questions, and it's okay to ask questions, because if you don't ask questions, then you're not going to know any better. I just feel that some people in our community need to understand that not everyone is going to understand our world and understand autism. Some people will be ignorant of autistic people and autism in our community. It's an opportunity to talk to them and educate them, having a meaningful conversation and maybe correcting them if they don't say necessarily the right thing. So yeah, terminology is actually another one that does worry me because people have their set preferences and stuff. You know, in terms of terminology, like a lot of the people in the autism community say autistic person or autistic or whatever. And I will fully admit I do have my preferences on autistic person for myself when people are talking to me. But the thing is, I don't force my opinion on people. I just say, look, just call us an autistic person because that's what I am, you know? But I don't force my opinion on other people. And frankly, you have people in the community forcing their own viewpoint onto people. And it just makes things uncomfortable for me, personally, in the autism community. And it makes it toxic. To be frank with you, I don't really care about, you know, what people say. I feel as long as conversations are being had about autism that are in a constructive way and people are being nice to each other and, you know, conversations going well, then if someone says person with autism, we shouldn't be triggered by it and go, you shouldn't be saying that, autistic person, autistic person. It's just like, to be honest, as long as the main message, like your core message of what you're saying is good and it's nice and it's honest and it's true, who cares about the way you say it? Or, you know, if you say person with autism instead of autistic person, it's so petty. But to be honest, I just want to come into this community and just openly talk about things and not feel scared to open up and talk about stuff and not feel afraid because I said like the one thing that triggers everyone. I just think, yes, people can have their preferences and that's totally fine. I fully appreciate that, but I just don't like it when people force their preferences onto people. It just makes me sad. To be honest, it just makes me really sad. And then you get these people who talk down to other people because they think they're these massive experts about autism and stuff like that. I just don't really like it. It makes me feel really intimidated and it makes me feel sometimes that my experiences are not valid. I actually talked about this a few weeks ago. I talked about the fact that sometimes I feel that my autism experiences are not valid. It's because of people who think that they know everything. It scares me sometimes, you know. I'll have a conversation with someone and they make out to be this expert. I mean, take this channel for example. Like, yeah, I talk about autism, I talk about my experiences, but I don't make myself out to be an expert on autism because I have autism myself. That's crazy. That to me is very irresponsible, actually, saying you know everything about autism just because you have autism yourself. That's incredibly irresponsible. Also, what I'll say is, opinion is not fact. You know, you can have an opinion on something, and unless it's said, you know, people are going to take that as the gospel, as the Bible. They're going to take it as fact. You know, to say anything different would be incredibly irresponsible. And to be honest, there are people in the autism community who proclaim to be experts, and I just think it's just, and I just feel it's incredibly irresponsible. And if you're doing it, if you're saying, I'm an expert on autism, when you aren't an expert, you know, it's just like your own opinion and stuff, then I just think it's incredibly irresponsible. And to be honest, I say my opinion when I think it is worth saying my opinion, and sometimes I might pick a side if it's something I feel strongly about. But a lot of the time I tend not to pick sides because I don't want to feel pigeonholed, especially when it comes to making YouTube videos about autism, because I feel like if I pick a side in a sense, that people are just going to think, oh, he only thinks one way, when I don't know, I step back from a lot of situations actually and try to get an overall view on a lot of different things, because that's just me as a person, you know. I prefer having an objective opinion on stuff. And sometimes I might lean a certain way and other times I might lean another way. And that's just my personality person, you know. So yeah, I just don't want to come into this community and be forced to pick a side that I just don't feel any passion in, and you know, I don't want to feel forced to have an opinion that I just don't have. And I feel some people in the autism community do that. And then there is the point that Katie made in her video, and this one, it made me feel really disappointed actually in our community. And it was all to do with how some companies, they're afraid, and some people are afraid of our community, of embracing it. And, you know, some businesses are afraid to do anything autism friendly because they fear of the backlash from our community. And it makes me incredibly sad that in 2019, companies who are willing to open their doors to people like me, people like Katie, people like us, and they're afraid to make changes that will potentially, maybe, possibly improve the lives of autistic people. To be honest, some things that businesses do, it might not necessarily help one autistic person, but it might help someone else. If businesses are even talking about the fact that they're wanting to introduce something that is autism friendly, Christ, I'm fully on board with that. Especially when it's done well, especially when businesses really take it upon themselves to make changes, to make their shop or something like that more autism friendly. If they're fully embracing and fully willing to listen to us as a community, that's amazing. It's incredibly sad in 2019 that, you know, we as a community are fighting for equality, and, you know, we're wanting businesses and, you know, other places to be more accommodating to us and be accepting of us and to be aware of certain aspects of autism. You know, they're scared of us and they don't want to be involved with it because of backlash from X amount of people in the community. I just want businesses to open their doors to us and to embrace our community and ask questions, because I personally feel like I have been misunderstood a lot of my life, and, you know, coming into this community, it has really improved my life greatly. It's made me accept a lot of things about myself that I never actually accepted about myself up until this point in my life. It's made me fully appreciate my life previously, and it's made me feel valid. You know, I've been on this planet for like 26 years, and I never felt valid up until joining this community, and I feel fully appreciative of that. I feel that, you know, left unchecked, the community's gonna become sour and a place that I don't want to come to. You know, I just hope that by talking about the things that I'm worried about in the autism community, I hope it helps you guys kind of understand my mindset on some things. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm kind of just, I'm coming to that point where I just don't want to talk anymore. I mean, if you did enjoy this video, make sure you hit the like button so I know, and, you know, leave a comment down below. Just tell me everything. Just tell me what you're feeling, how you're thinking, you know, just all of that stuff. And let's just have an open and honest conversation, and let's just maybe help each other if we're feeling a certain way, you know, just all of that good stuff. But for now, guys, stay you, stay indie. I hope you've had a really good day, and I will see you all very soon.